right. I think I will turn off my camera because of sharing. Sometimes that makes it a little bit difficult from a bandwidth perspective. Good afternoon, everybody. It's been a while I've been visiting you, but I hope you still recall who I am. Edwin Heisterkamp, if you never met me before, is my name. I'm the Territory Healthcare Manager, or nowadays called Customer Success Manager at Brainomix, managing all the sites in the Nordics. I'm based in the south of Sweden. Sunny, 20 degrees, while you have much warmer and still sunny, I think, in the UK. But also covering the Nordics, UK, and Ireland for the moment. So we'll change my role within the company soon, but we'll still work together with you closely in the next coming months. As you maybe have been made aware, we have done a major upgrade. We see it this morning, which went successful from the previous platform release, which we called Zygoma, to the new release called Atrium. And we call it even more fancy, the next generation platform. It is a brand new web user interface and also a new mobile app interface, being the reason for having this training session right now, or introduction session for you right now, to explain how it looks like and the new features that are available right now. I will try to do this showing how the web user interface looks like, but also the mobile app, so we should be able to cover both parties. Sharing my screen, I hope you see what I'm sharing. Please say so. I hope it's not too small. This is the new layout.
It is quite small, I'm afraid.
Is it small? Okay,
yeah.
That's fine. Let me move screen, because I've also got different screens as well. Let me see if that works better for you then.
Thank you.
There we go. Is this better? I
Yes,
can't get it
fine.
bigger.
Thank you.
I can't get
No,
it bigger.
No, that's good. That's fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. So as you can see, I don't know how familiar you are navigating through the web user interface, but this is the new look. So as you will see, primarily it is a much calmer view. There's less information available that is a kind of disturbing, and there's only the valid information available that you want to work with. And it is also flagging things for you already without even having opened the scan itself. If you start to think a little bit about the practical things, in the top right corner there's a word called filters. Here you have the possibility to adjust your work list based on your preferences. So for example, if you only want to see the cases where the software has identified, for example, an ICH or an LVO, or if you want to see only cases from the last 6 hours or the last hour, you had a possibility to modify this based on your preferences. Specifically for Preston, as you are getting patients from different hospitals, your case list can become a mixture of lots of cases from different hospitals. You still had the possibility to filter on the institution name or the hospital name. So this is our demo system, but here you see that if I change, for example, or choose specific institutions' names, you see immediately that the case list is adjusted accordingly. Something to keep an eye on, specifically for yourselves, is that the institution names, as they are shown, are the way they are stated on the CT scanners for each of the specific hospital, and that's a case-sensitive field. So it can be that, for example, Royal Preston Hospital is on the CT scanner described with all capital letters or a mixture of capital and lowercase characters. And then it will appear, as you can see here for the example Svalbard, twice in the list. So you need to be sure that if you're going to filter an institution name, that you're ticking the boxes for that specific hospital, because there can be different spellings used. And if you're only ticking the one and you can't find the case, then you immediately think, oh, the case has not been sent to the server. Actually, it has, if you would have ticked the other case as well. So that is definitely for Preston, if you're looking at loads of cases from different kind of hospitals, a thing to keep in mind. And all the things that I'm telling you here right now are actually copyable to the mobile app as well. So keep an eye on this. That's specifically important. So that's related to the filters. Of course, if you want to get rid of the filters, you need to go to the filter section again and then disable the filters if you want to see the full range of information. Top left corner in the menu, we have the hamburger icon. If you hear that word being stated by us or in discussions, if you click on that menu, now you see a little bit more because I'm logged in as an admin user, but here you have all the user manuals, for example, related to the specific modules, non-contrast CT or E-aspects, ECA, CTA for angiography, and then also perfusion, and nowadays we also have the CE marking for MRI. So if there's an interest for MRI, please contact us and then we can start up maybe some research or some projects to start working with MRI scans. I don't know if you use these in the acute phases or maybe as follow-up, but there's a possibility to work with eMRI scans nowadays as well. The patient list is the list where we are providing all the cases. In the past it was called the case list. We call it a patient list nowadays. Then looking at the screen overall, you have the information over here. Right now we have also changed the situation that every change that has been made on a case, if it is a comment or anything else that has been done on that specific case, it will always move up to the top of the list again as the most recent case where changes have been made. So you can see that it is sorted by the last updated. There is a possibility that you can change the order of your case list if there's a preference for it, but the last updated, the newest first, is the default setting that we're using nowadays. And then if you're looking at a specific case list, you see all the patients over here. You have always the hospital name as a reference, for example. You see also who is logged in. You have information about the age and the gender. Within the hospital, you have the full patient ID, session number, name, and all those kind of things available, which has been changed when you're moving to the cloud. And what you previously saw being the case ID, it has now been changed by a Brainomix or a BX ID. So we try to make it more specific for our hospital. And as you can see, the BX ID is now a mixture of characters, both letters and numbers, because otherwise there could have been a difficulty or mixture of cases which we want to avoid. You see there's this little copy sign here as well, so you had the possibility to copy that specific Brainomix ID number, or you can copy the patient ID number if you want to share that specific details to somebody else. Bottom right corner, for the specific case, you see that there are, for that specific case, in this example, 3 scans available, and clicking on the drop-down menu, you see that there are 3 cases processed. The processing is completed, and for some of the scans, the system has highlighted findings, as for example, in this case, suspected LVO. There's also the chat function. So in the previous version, you always needed to open the case to be able to use the chat function. It has been seen as an important tool to be able to be used. So we thought it was a better idea to have it in the case list available. So from the case list, you already can click on the chat function. And if you click on the chat function, you have all information available about what has been discussed for this specific case. And then you here have the entry box where you can type some new text and click on send, and then that will be updated and also notified to all the users that are looking at this case. And if there's a new notification or a new text that has been added to this specific case, for the 4th case you see over here, that in the little chat bubble there's a little red dotted icon that is notifying you that there's some new text information that has been added to this chat feature that you have not been reading yet for that specific patient. So going down again, we see the specific cases for William Perry in this example. We also see the flags that have been identified for non-contrast CT and CTA. And if you click on the specific case, the case opens up. Now the way the case opens up is completely depending on the resolution and the size of your screen. So if you have a bigger screen, the one that I started with, it was a big wide screen, then I would have had the possibility to create a maximum 6 split screen. But since I moved it to my laptop screen, automatically the software is adjusting that sharing or that split feature and now only allows me a 1, a 2 or a 3 split screen. So it has nothing to do with the software, it has to do with the resolution, the size of the screen, allowing you to do a different split of the cases in your screen. On the left side we have all summary information. So in the previous version it was called the reporting page. So on the left side right now we have all cases available that have been processed by the software. And thankfully in the release that has been installed in your hospital right now we also had the possibility to create a filter feature to remove a lot of noise. And by noise I don't mean noise related to image information, but noise such as topograms, dose reports, examination reports, information that the software simply can't do anything with, but it is also delaying the processing of those scans that need to be processed. But apparently some CT scanners, they are sending that information with the case to our software. We see it not needed to present. It is just creating a lot of information, specifically when you look for a case in a mobile app. So with this filtering feature, we have been able to get rid of a lot of noise, but there's also a limitation. And that's why we often feedback to the CT teams, the CT leads, that please don't send the thick slice CT scans for non-control CT, for example 5 millimeters thick slices, because we won't process them anyway. But to be able to get rid of the noise, this filtering feature has been included. And then it has become a kind of mini-packs feature. So by dragging and dropping the cases into the specific boxes, the system is simply uploading the information, then you can scroll through the images and see it that way then. And then there are a lot of tools available how you can navigate and how you can work with the results. As you can see in the left corner again, on the left side, we have the processed information, as you can see over here. But there's also a new feature available, which is the source image, which we were not able to present in the previous software version, but now being available, meaning the raw data information or the original scan data coming from the CT scanner without any processing from our AI algorithms over it, allowing you to manipulate and to play, to say so, with the scans the way you want to, instead of the software doing it for you. And as you can see, for the non-contrast CT, the CTA, and for the CT perfusion module, there's always this drop-down menu. The drop-down menu is giving you the results of the findings in text format. So you have the overview of the findings in the report page together with the summary findings in text format as well for each of the specific modules. So you can see the findings quickly and you also can see the information in text format. But that's what you also can see on the images. So if I want to see this scan only in the big screen, I can click on the icon over here and then it's completely blowing up that specific scan only, and then I can look through the images. If I want to see the scan without any kind of overlays, I click on that little icon over here and then I got a plain CT head scan without any AI overlays from Brainomix. If I enable it again, then I see that information. If I now look through the scan and I want to see the text findings as well related to the specific case, in the bottom right corner I have this little text box. So if I click on it, I can scroll through the images and at the same time I can see the results, the findings in the text box as well, and close it again, and then it gives me the possibility to go back again the way I want to. Of course, I got the possibility to play around with the window level settings. So by clicking on that icon, I've got some preset window level settings. If I want to see the bone structure, for example, and I want to get rid of the overlays, I can scroll through the images that way to see if there's a fracture or something else that I want to see. And I can enable it again and I can go back to the tissue and I get everything back again. Or if I want to adjust the findings, I can move with the sliders to the right and to the left, changing the window level settings. Or you have this little bulb icon. If you click on there, there are some navigation fields as well, how I can change the window level settings, zoom, the scan, etc., etc. So it gives you more possibilities to work with that specific image of interest. If you go to the CT angiography scan, you can see that apart from the source information and the process results, which were primarily related to the MCA, TICA area, we have now also started to provide images related to posterior circulation, the PCA, in the axial, the coronal, sagittal left and right. These are just views. There is no identification done related to large vessel occlusions or what do you call it, the collateral scoring. It is just the first step that we have made to start focusing on posterior circulation so that we can provide that information. Future releases hopefully will give us the possibility to identify LVOs and collateral scoring for the posterior circulation as well. And what we're also working on is to be able to, for example, in this view, to make a 3D rotation so that we can rotate and angulate the whole branch the way we want to and see the image information that way. Not only from a brain perspective, but we also want to include the whole neck area so that by rotating this in a 3D volume rendering image that you can see the whole neck area as well. Especially for the CT angiography scans, it can be good to use the source image. The source image means, if we blow it up again, that we now have the thin slice, 0.6 millimeter slices available that we can manipulate and look through and also work with and create thicker slices with. So as you can see here as well, right now I'm looking at slice 202 out of 301. I can scroll through the images and see all information. But maybe I want to manipulate the images a little bit better to get more detailed information. If we click on the first icon on the top right corner over here, the three dots between the two bridges, there you have the possibility to change the slice thickness. So the thicker the slice becomes, the more information I get per slice. And then you have an average view from a window level settings point of view. I can go to the minip, you go more to a bone structure window level settings, or I can go to the MIP, the maximum intensity projection views, providing more information related to the venous and arterial system. And as you can see, scrolling through the image, the slice thickness, I get more or less information per slice available. And then scrolling through the information, I can clearly follow the arterial and the venous systems and provide more information about, in this case, the LVO and what is happening behind the LVO. For example, you see a clear lack of collaterals over here versus the healthy hemisphere. So I think this is specifically for INRs when they're going to decide and how to treat the patient and how it looks like, that they have now the possibility with the raw data information to scroll through the images and thicken or thinner the slices, get more and less information, and based on this prepare for the treatment, the thrombectomy treatments. We're showing this in the axial plane. Of course, we want to give you the possibility to see what is happening in the neck area as well, if there are any obstructions over there. So the third icon in the top right corner allows me to go from the axial plane to either the sagittal plane or to the coronal plane. So if I click on the sagittal box, the whole scan immediately, so there's no delay, it is automatically moving to the sagittal plane, and then I can look, okay, what is happening in the neck area. And then again, from this view, maybe I want to thicker the slices a little bit. So I have the MIP already activated, and by increasing the slice thickness, I get more information, and then I have the possibility to scroll through the images and see more information in the neck area accordingly. Or, again, if I want to do this in the coronal view as well, I can scroll through the images, I go to the neck area, I don't see everything properly, I increase the size again and I get more information, and through that I can scroll through the images. So I think these are nice features that are coming right now with CT angiography specifically, making it easier for the users to navigate through the raw data information related to angiography. If we then go back again to the series, we also had the perfusion information. Just to state about the angiography scans, I think this tool over here, or this view, is a little bit underestimated, but I think it's a very good tool to keep an eye on as a kind of quality tool mechanism. What we always try to focus on is this area over here. How has the software identified the acquisition phase for the CT angiography scan? So the system is placing markers or measurement markers in the arterial and in the venous output flows and calculate the Hounsfield units for contrast media arriving and then of course disappearing again through the brain. So if you would see it as a curve, there's no contrast media. Contrast media is arriving in the arterial system. It is peaking, moving over from arterial to venous, and then it's going out of the venous system and wash out of the brain area. You could follow it in these color schemes as well. So we have the arterial, early arterial peak, the top going to venous, and then the washout. The aim to be able for the software to identify the large vessel occlusions and the collateral scoring in a proper way is to always have an acquisition phase around the peak arterial or equilibrium. Meaning that if you are too early, it means that the contrast arrival, the start of the scan has started too early versus the arrival of the contrast media, meaning that you can have contrast media in the arterial system already detected, but not that much in the venous system or behind large vessel occlusion to calculate the collateral scorings in a proper way. And if you're starting your scan too late, we may be in the peak or in the late venous phase already, then there's a washout of contrast media in the arterial system with the risk that you would miss the large vessel occlusion or an overestimation of the collateral scoring. If this would be the case, then there would be a flag shown as well. So if we go to the menu again for the patient list, you will see that there are warning signs here stated as well. And if you click on the warning sign, it will give you information about what for that specific scan has been identified by the software. Otherwise, when you open the case, you have the possibility to see this in the series as well with this little triangle, yellow triangle, simply placing warning signs about findings done by the software. So that's, I think, an important quality assurance tool, that if there are any kind of warning displays, keep an eye on this as well. If it is a one-off, for example, for a CT angiography scan being early or late venous or early arterial, fine, it can be related to the patient's heart conditions maybe. But if it is a pattern that you see this happening frequently, it can be an identification that maybe you need to review the way you're performing your CTA scans. Then the perfusion. Perfusion, nothing has changed from an information providing perspective. So we still have the maps. They're all linked to each other. You can scroll to them and you can see all the specific findings slice by slice. You have the specific one-by-one parameter maps as well. So if you want, for example, to see the RCBF, you want to see the Tmax, and you want to see the MTT, the Tmax, and you want to see the MTT, you can move them and then you can scroll the images simultaneously and then you can see the specific case in that sense as well. Just a little bit about the perfusion, because there has been done a lot of improvements related to perfusion. Let me see if I can move this around. No, I can't. Let me see if I stop sharing and I share again. So related to perfusion, as you all know, it is not related to single slice scans. It is a volume of information that is created by the software. The software is calculating what is happening in the arterial input function and what is happening in the arterial venous output function. And based on the information, the system is then using a deconvolution algorithm to create all those specific parameter maps. Here you can see it again. We have the original scan data. It is pretty noisy, it is pretty blurry, although you can see that contrast media is arriving and then disappearing again. But based on the information that we get from the raw information, we then create these specific parameter maps where RCBF primarily is used for the detection of core. And the Tmax used for the penumbra, and then we also can use that information to move it into a mismatch map again, showing the differences between core and penumbra. Of course, there are other parameter maps as well, like the time to peak, the mean transit time, the Tmax. I think the people that are normally working with perfusion know how to interpret the specific data. But actually what we have been doing is also doing rather much quality checks about how perfusion scans actually are performed, because they have a huge impact, of course, on the calculation of those parameter maps. This is related to quality checks that we do with the AIF and the VOF curves, but it's also related to how the acquisition has been performed. So normally, as you look at the top left corner, you want to have a baseline. So you start the scan and contrast media at the same time, and then you have some time points when there's no contrast media arriving at all, which we call the baseline. You start to see the peak in the arterial system coming, followed by the move over to the venous function. They are peaking, and then you had a washout again of the contrast media in the brain. If we don't have this baseline, so it starts immediately to say so, then this is already giving warning signs about the software that the scan has not been performed the way it is expected to be. There's a very short baseline, and it may have then reduced the algorithm performance. So it is important to keep an eye on those warning signs. It can also be that you are too late, so that the, for example, baseline is way too long, meaning that we are not able to catch what is happening in the end of the scan, and by that it can also relate to truncated acquisition, which may reduce the accuracy of the perfusion scan. As well as motion, it is not an easy exam to perform for a patient that is suffering a stroke. Normally, as you can see, the patient needs to lay down still for 60 seconds to perform, 55 to 60 seconds to perform that scan. And there's a big risk, of course, to create motion during the scan. That's why it's very important for the radiographers to have a good stabilization of the head in the CT gantry when performing such scans. If there's a little motion, that's fine. If you got a good baseline and we can capture the full scan from an AIF-VOF point of view, then you have a perfect situation. But you can also see the poor examples where there's a lot of motion of the patient head during the whole scan, or that simply the scan performance from a scan versus contrast media arrival is not working properly. So the quality check is very important. Specifically in the beginning, when we had the baseline detection and the arterial input and the venous output function calculation, the head needs to be very still. If there will be some movement in the end of the scan, then we are in the washout area of the contrast media from the brain as well. So in that case, it's more acceptable by the software to decline or ignore these movements, to say so. We've done a lot of things related to the parameter maps, but the message here is that we should never look in isolation to the mismatch map per se. There's a reason why we are providing all the other parameter maps as well, specifically related to the CBF or CBF map, identifying the core, and also the Tmax map showing differences for the penumbra. And as you may be aware, it is very important to keep an eye on that we are using the Dawn and the Diffuse 3 criteria related to the calculation of these maps. I go a little bit further here. So what has our team done? And I think there has been done a presentation locally by some of the team members as well, that if you compare our software to the competitors, they may have very sharp parametric maps, but poor mismatch maps, while we in the past had not that much detail in the parameter maps. They were rather blurry, pixely to say so, blobby, while we had good parameter maps. So how to make this happen? Well, our team has been working hard, so now we are in the situation and you can compare how the software was providing those parameter maps in the past on the bottom left right compared to where we are now. They are much sharper, there's much more information, more detailed information, and it's not that blurry, that bubbly anymore, by simply creating good parameter maps and also good mismatch maps. And of course that is giving you more confidence in how to read those output results coming from our software. Compared to Siemens, for example, using single via, what we had in the past and what we created nowadays. So there are huge improvements done specifically related to not only perfusion, but also non-contrast CTA and CTA from a sensitivity and specificity point of view. Some other examples here, it is a much clearer view versus what we had in the past, but also if you run more into details that we in the past maybe could identify or display in a proper way, right now are much sharper and more separated from a color scheme perspective. Basal ganglia, was it a false positive? Was it really a true finding? Was it maybe noise? Due to the noise reduction that we have done, now we have better results and we really can reduce the amount of false positives and give you more accurate information with the new software that has been displayed. And even small findings that maybe previously were suppressed because it could have been noise, it could have been difficult to translate that information into the mismatch map, now is possible to be displayed with a proper finding in the mismatch views, since we simply have been able to do lots of improvements in the so-called dynamic noise suppression. So let's say in the left previous versions we had, for example, findings in the right and the left hemisphere, but due to the noise reduction we have been able to actually, for 100% perspective on those cases that we have done the test, remove all the false positives, and now nothing has been displayed for this specific case. And here are some other examples. So what I want to say related to the perfusion, that there has been a lot of performance improvements done, hopefully supporting you in a better diagnostic view and treatment decision making. So back to the case list and the information that you see over here. Of course, we have those quality mechanisms from a movement perspective as well. And what also has been done is that if the software from a perfusion perspective is finding issues on one specific side of the brain, then it is not putting all those arterial input function markers to calculate the contrast media in that sick side. It is only keeping it in the healthy side, and by that we get better and accurate results available. Another thing, I don't know if you're using it that much, but you see there's two boxes over here. You got the image section, but there's also the clinical data section. So if you want to enter additional information into the software, like last known well, NIHSS score, etc., this has now been pushed back into the software as well. We are actually running on version 14.3 already, so version 14.1 and 14.2 were for early adopters to provide feedback and to give us information, and then little by little we have started to create more optimized information in the software. And we're not standing still. There's still much more to come. 14.4 release is now announced or released already, announced as well to be released by the end of Q3, beginning of Q4 this year. So once available, I will share that information as well. Coming back to the patient list, you get all the information here as well, and then you can proceed with whatever you want to do from a case perspective point of view. So I will try to connect, because of the time as well, to the phone, because I think and hope that you're using the mobile app a lot as well. And there are also some activities that need to take place at your end related to the mobile app functionality. So that's what I want to discuss with you as well. Just quickly going back, by the way, to the web user interface. You may have noticed, you don't see it over here, but if you would go, where's this box moving? So if we would take a new homepage, in the past you needed to click on eucloud.brainomix.com to be able to get access to your organization, which is LSE stroke, all capital letters, followed by your username and password to get access to the web user interface in the cloud. As we have done the upgrade right now, this has now been changed by old 01 eucloud.brainomix.com. So if you click on that email address right now, or this URL, then you will get access to the new cloud-based solution for Brainomix 360. But we try to make it as easy as possible for yourselves. So actually we have done a redirect from this version to the old cloud version. So if you would log in to the eucloud.brainomix.com as you're doing right now with your organization name, username and password, you will be automatically redirected to the new cloud-based solution. So there are no actions needed when you're working with a cloud-based web user interface. However, you need to do some changes, maybe, when you're working with the mobile app. So let me connect with the mobile app and see if this can be shared to your screen. Just let me know when you see it. Maybe Elaine, can you confirm? It's okay?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
We can see it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the mobile app. If you're looking at the mobile app per se, it is still the same icon. If you click on the mobile app, the first action I would recommend you to do is go to the top left corner, go down to the bottom where you have something called Switch Organization. If you click on Switch Organization, in the bottom right corner you see the software version of the most recent mobile app, to say so, for Brainomix. If that version is lower than version 6.4, then I recommend you to delete the app from your phone and to upload or download it again from the specific store, depending if you got an iPhone or an Android phone. We are supporting both. But if you are in the position that you are using version 6.4, that should not be needed. And then you see your LSC stroke on your phone as an organization. And now I'm using our demo system here as well, but you will see the LSC stroke here as well. So you see two different kind of icons. Either it can be a recycle bin or it can be a pen. I don't know what you see, but I will show you both alternatives. So I would recommend you to remove your current organization LSC stroke, to simply erase everything that has been related to the old version and to start from scratch again with a new version in the phone related to the Brainomix 360 software. So if you click on the pen icon, you will get a delete possibility. Click on that delete button and then you will get a confirmation. Please, do you really want to delete your organization? Click on yes and then your entry will be removed. Now I don't do it because I want to keep it. Once it has been removed, it should be completely empty. You should not see any kind of organization, and then in the top right corner you have this little plus icon. If you click on the plus icon, you need to enter the organization, being all capital letters LSC stroke, and then you click on next to enter your username and password, and then you will get access to your mobile app for LSC stroke again. As I've done right now after the upgrade, because I simply want to follow a little bit what is happening with the cases. And as you can see, there are a lot of cases already uploaded based on what has been sent to the Brainomix server in your region. But not to play around with real cases, I will move to the demo system. But before doing so, you see when you're going to the hamburger icon again, in the bottom left corner, two sections called notifications and notification sound as well. So if you click on notifications, we have set up several notifications that you can enable or disable or only activate when you are on call. That hasn't changed versus the previous software or the version of the mobile app, but I just want to show you this again. So per notification, I have the possibility to decide, do I always want to be notified? I never want to be notified, or I only want to be notified when I'm on call. When being on call is related to the feature in the top right corner, you see this little man icon to the left of the recycle icon. If I click on that icon, here you got the on-call status. So each of the notifications that you have chosen being related to when on call will be linked to this feature. So when I'm starting my day shift and I want to be notified, I simply move the slider to the right and save it, and then all the notifications that are linked to when on call will automatically be activated. When I go home from my shift and I don't want to be notified, I don't need to disable each of the specific notifications. I just move the slider to the left again, save it, and then all my notifications will be disabled. So that makes it a little bit easier. But it's not only that. It's also related to how your notifications are set up on your phone. So to be able to understand how to work with the notifications linked to my mobile phone, I need to go, and now I only have an iPhone, sorry, I don't know how to show it in an Android, but I need to go to my settings, I need to go to my notifications, and I need to look for the mobile app Brainomix 360. And there I need to first check that all the announced notifications are on and how I want to display them on my screen, to say so. When they are, I want to see notifications on a locked screen, I want to see them on a center screen and with banners, etc., etc. So you can have activated all your notifications in the Brainomix app, but if you haven't checked your notification center, then no notifications will appear on your mobile app, although they in the Brainomix 360 software are activated. You need to go to the settings in your phone as well. Going back here again to the hamburger icon. Oh, let's see where I am. Apart from the notification center, I also had the possibility to link a notification sound to the notifications coming from the Brainomix 360 app, and that is the second icon here. So if you have different kind of sounds related to your mobile app for different kind of functionalities, here you got a possibility to choose whatever sound you want to have, and then you can activate that specific sound, and then you're happy with it. All right, going back to our demo system, I switched the organization to our demo system, and as you can see over here, the view looks exactly the same, although in a smaller format, of course, related to the web user interface that I saw earlier. So I click on the filters in the top right corner. I have all the filter possibilities over here that I can enable, disable if I want to. And then once saved, I go back again by clicking on the cross. I open the case. The case opens up with the summary findings. So I have all the information with the warning labels for the specific scan over here. And then I simply click on that image that I want to see, and then that scan opens up. One thing that you will notice immediately is that the slider in the far right has now moved to the bottom. So if I want to scroll through the images, I need to use the slider in the bottom to run through the images from the bottom to the top by moving the slider from the left to the right. If you look at that specific, oh, it is in the way. Can I move it to another? Elaine, you're in the way. If you look in the bottom right corner, you have that little globe again. If you click on the globe, then here you have again a summary how you can navigate through the images. So if I put my thumb on the view on the screen and I move up and down or to the left and the right, now I'm changing my window level settings instead. I can of course reset this again by clicking on the reset icon and go back to where I was, or I use the bone window or vessel window, whatever it might be. So there are different possibilities here to use it. If I want to get rid of the icon, just click on that same icon again and it will disappear. If I want to remove the overlays, I click on the icon in the top right corner, and then I can scroll through the images or I can modify the window level settings, etc., etc. In the top left corner, where it says processed, I can go to all the other series in that specific scan. So I got the source view, and I also have the summary information here available. Just as a reminder, the summary information can also be found in the bottom right corner, clicking on the text icon, and then I have all the information with text information available. Now, if I want to shift from the non-contrast CT to the CTA or to the CTP, you see in the bottom all those text icons. So you got the all, the NCCT, CTA, and CTP. If I click on the all, I actually go back to the summary where I got all information available. If I want to see the CTA results, I open up one CTA result, and then with the process drop down, I can move to any other specific scan that I want to see. If we use the source again, I click on the source image, as already done in the past as well. Now it takes some time for my phone to upload. You see in the bottom the bar is becoming whiter and whiter, so it is still uploading those 301 images related to this specific scan, but already can start scrolling a little bit through the images. I want to go a little bit more to the top of the brain or the middle to the brain, and now here I want to manipulate the information again. How did I do this? In the top you have all the small icons. The far left one, the 3 dots with the 2 lines on left and right of it, allows me to change the slice thickness or go to the MIP if I want to and get more information per slice. So you just need to start play around, and then you can move with the bottom slider and scroll through the images again to see more or less information. I also have the possibility to do a full zoom. So in the top right corner, to the top of the MIP word that I see right now, I can zoom the image, and from there I can remove all the overlays and scroll through the images again. I even can zoom even further if I want to, by taking 2 thumbs and putting them away from each other as a normal zoom function that you would have in the normal phone activities that you would use for other applications as well. Go back again, can decrease the zoom again, click on the source, go to another view, whatever it might be, and that will be displayed. Or I want to go to the perfusion information, and from there I can scroll through all the images, the findings, etc., etc. So what I actually showed you in the web user interface is copied into the mobile app with all the functionalities. The clinical data entry, top right corner, you have this little drop down arrow. If you click on that, you have the clinical data entry possibility. You see that share and support is still grayed out. It is a feature that currently is not available. So sharing cases, manual case sharing, is not enabled for the moment and will come in the 14.4 release. It may be so that we're even going to remove the share feature completely, because Brainomix users, among Brainomix users, can share cases automatically in the cloud by the automatic case forwarding, for example. So we are still in discussions if we're going to have the per case sharing available, yes or no. It is something that needs to be decided by our management team. And also the upload to our support team is something that is a work in progress, still to be included in the software. Top left corner, info. It gives you information about a specific scan, and that's also new in this software, so that we have the possibility now to get access to all scan information. So we're not looking at a scan per se, but if there would be any information required from a DICOM tag information perspective, for example, all information coming with the images to our software from your CT scanner gives us now the possibility to see all that information line item or DICOM tag by DICOM tag. And that can, from an image information perspective, can be of good knowledge to know, of course. To the right of the info, we have the chat function. So as mentioned already, and we have the chat function with the information normally provided by the software. So it will always generate information, and these are then related to the notifications as well. A series is processed for eAspects, eCTP, ACTA, and then we also can enter free text information, blah, 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 whatever it might be. Click on the send, and then this will be a part of the text or the messages that you will see for that specific case. And that can then also be linked to your notification center, that you will be notified that somebody made a message or a new entry in this information. Going back to the patient list, top left corner, hamburger icon, patient list, and then you're back again, and then you can take a look at the new case. So I think this is a little bit in a nutshell, a lot of information within 1 hour to summarize a little bit the findings and how to navigate using the web user interface and the mobile app. Of course, it's a lot of information. We are working on a training video, which hopefully will be available by the end of this week. So Elaine, once available, I will share that with you so that you can share it among the users. It's actually in a little shorter time explaining the navigation of the new features and how to navigate through the mobile app and the web user interface. I think it's a 15 minutes recorded session or so. But I wanted to give you some more detailed information, a little bit more information versus what a training video will provide.
Thank you very much, Edwin. We were also going to have Matt 5 come on to talk about uploading and offloading people into the system, but unfortunately he's emailed me in the midst of all this to say that he's had to go to an emergency. So he's not going to be able to do that. I don't know. Matt, can you... sorry, Edwin, is there any chance you could talk us through that?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was going to stop the sharing, but actually I closed the call. So I was just rejoining, actually missing what you were asking for. Apologies for this. So can you repeat?
So I was just saying Matt 5 from Blackpool was meant to be joining us to talk about onboarding and offboarding people onto the system. But unfortunately, he's had to go to an emergency and he's not able to attend now. I just wondered, is there any chance that you could talk through onboarding and offboarding?
So the onboarding, offboarding for the web user interface is not needed because, as already mentioned, if you still would use the eocloud or brainomix.com web URL and you would log in, it will automatically redirect you to the new cloud, being the old 01. So there's no change needed. And the change that you need to do in the mobile app is what I started with. So first open your mobile app, go to the top left corner and switch organization and see if you are on the right version of the application, being version 6.4. If you are not, remove it. Then upload it again from the store and then log in for the first time again, because then it's a clean. If you are on version 6.4, then you are good from a last version perspective, but then you need to remove the organization and then re-enter it again. So either you have this little pen icon or you have the recycle bin to remove the LSC stroke that you currently see in your mobile app. Then you click on the plus icon, you enter the organization LSC stroke again, followed by your username and password, and then you have access to the new software.
So just to confirm then, if it's a brand new starter that's coming in, they're just going to upload the app, go to the user organization site, and then they're automatically going to be able to access it.
Yes and no. If it's a brand new user that has not been registered for the software, then it is a little bit a different story, because then the user needs to be set up as a user in that security group that is managed by your IT team. So then it's a completely different story, and that's more an onboarding process, not for only our solution. It is an onboarding process for getting access to other systems like PACS and those kind of things as well, I think. So then I think there should be an onboarding process available, managed by your IT team or your clinical champion, I think. So that would be the action to take in that case then. But if it is related to getting access to the mobile app, then they need to be set up as a user in the system with a username and password. Then when the mobile app has been downloaded, they go to the mobile app, and then this view is completely empty. There's nothing shown. And then they need to click on the plus icon, organization LSC stroke uppercase. It is a case sensitive field, then followed by the username and password that is set up by your IT team to get access to Brainomix 360 overall. It is not only to the mobile app, it is related to the cloud and to the local on-prem server web UI as well. So
basically we're going to have to set up another meeting for Matt to go through it, because he's not able to go through it right now.
So if this is related to new people coming into your organization that they need to get access to Brainomix 360, yes, then that may be a specific new thing to take place. But otherwise, normally, if you already have access to Brainomix 360 for the web user interface, you don't need to do anything. no logouts, no whatever it is. It should just redirect you automatically. If it is related to the mobile app, first check that you have the version 6.4 bottom right in your mobile app. If not, remove it and upload it again. If you have it, either use the pen, I don't know what you see, or the recycle bin to remove the current organization for your mobile app. Click on the plus icon again and then log in again. That's what I can recommend. But an onboarding process for getting access to different kind of systems like PACS, etc., that is not in the control of Brainomix anyway.
Right, that's fine, because yeah, we'll just have to set up a different time. So
yeah,
I'm sorry about that, everybody. But unfortunate that Matt's had to go and deal with something else. So
sorry, I suspect everyone in this meeting's already onboarded, as he called it. But so it's really Lisa Hastings. I think she's in the meeting. She needs to know how to facilitate someone. It's for new consultants, isn't it?
It is about registering somebody as well. But there is Brainomix champions in each of the trusts that should be able to update.
The new people as they come. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, if we've got someone in every trust.
There is supposed to be, but one of the things that we were doing today is because some of the people, the Brainomix champions, have left, Nick.
Oh dear. Right.
So this is what we need to do: is we invite people that are currently registered to this meeting.
Okay.
So that we could actually, get other people to help start onboarding. So it would be good to get Lisa on there as well to get people on. But that's Matt Fife, who's unfortunately can't be here. So I'm going to I can either set him up separately with Lisa, but also I know Michelle as well from Preston wanted extra people to be able to onboard at Preston as well. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good. No, if we have a champion in each trust, then they can come to that meeting, can't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so just quickly in the chat as well, because was asked about the URL again. So if you look at the chat function, the https eucloud.brainomix.com, that is the one that has been used in the past before we did the upgrade. The new URL with the old 01 ahead of it is the new URL that you would need to use if you want to set it up with a quick link or whatever it is. What we have done, however, is to make it easier for you guys that if you still would log in to the eucloud or brainomix.com with your LSE stroke and then your username and password, when you then click on login, it will automatically redirect to the new URL. So you don't need to make any changes if you don't want to. But both will work. But the official new cloud-based URL is the bottom one, the old 01 one, that is linked to the new Zygoma platform, Atrium platform, sorry.
Yeah, that's useful because we'll need to do that on either our personal computers or if we can make it work on our trust laptops, that would be really good. Yep. Okay, thanks, Edwin.
I just wanted to ask something, Edwin, about so at the moment, North Cumbria, right, they're part of our telestroke rota and what have you, and we actually took a Carlisle patient through to Preston for thrombectomy.
Yeah.
But we don't have access to
that has been set up in the past. So all the cases from North Cumbria have been sent to you. And I think even vice versa, they have been sent from you to North Cumbria as well.
It should be for when we're on call. Yeah, I just wanted.
Yeah. I can do that. That's what I wanted to discuss out of this call, if it still was needed, because you may also have been made aware that the North Cumbria region has decided to go for another vendor. So we are, they're going for Rapid AI, unfortunately. So until the end of September, we are still having the possibility to automatically cloud connect you, but then we will break that connection. So the question is, do we still need to do so because it's only for a few months, or should we skip it for now already? So that is a discussion I wanted to take actually separately, but now you brought it up. It is something that I think you need to discuss internally, what you want to do. But it will be for a very limited time only in that case.
So my understanding, and sorry to interrupt just Nick, I've just spoke to Paul Davis this morning, and no Babatunde is on the thing, but we did. We obviously took a patient from Carlisle for thrombectomy to Preston, not to. They would normally go.
Hang on, there's a limitation as well because North Cumbria is still running on the old version, so I can only do the traffic from the old version to the new version. So only the cloud sync from North Cumbria to your cells will work, but not the other way around, because that's not supported.
So we can't send things to North Cumbria now?
No, not in the cloud, because that's supported. So it's only for North Cumbria into your cells that we can still do the automatic cloud case forwarding, but not vice versa.
Oh, I think we need to
because from Atrium to North Cumbria, or from Atrium, which is your new release, to the old release Igoma, there's no compatible communication. It is only from the old to the new that still works.
Right. Well, we'll have to think about this outside. I think.
Yeah.
Nick, I don't know if you want to come in, Nick, but we have to think about this. Yeah.
Let me know when you made your decision. I'm happy to connect North Cumbria to your cells, but the other way around is simply not possible anymore because of the upgrade done right now.
Right. Nick, did you want to come in? Got your hand up.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, thanks, Edwin. No, this we need to sort this out. If a consultant who's works in North Cumbria, which is registered with the mobile app, he'd still be able to see images.
Yes.
From anywhere, wouldn't he? Okay, so that's.
Yeah. And so if a North Cumbria consultant is set up as a user in Lancs, South Cumbria, then they will see both anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing. And then the second thing is, if I'm obviously a user in Blackburn, can I see images uploaded from North Cumbria or not?
When I've set up the automatic case forwarding from North Cumbria to your cells, yes, then it's still possible. Okay. Till the 30th of September.
Yeah, I get that. No, that's fine. That's okay. So that gives us a bit of time to work out what North Cumbria are going to do. So
yeah, I spoke to them this morning.
Another limitation you need to consider is that as North Cumbria still is on the old version, the case forwarding from North Cumbria to your cells will work. But all the new features that you have with the thin slice scan data that you can look through it, so on, is only available for those cases that are sent to your organization. So if North Cumbria is automatically case forwarding cases to your cells, you can see them, but you can't manipulate them the same way as you can do for the cases in your own region. So there's a limitation there as well, but you still have the possibility to see everything.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. It's anyway. We'll work our way through it. It's a shame they didn't come with this system, isn't it? Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Edwin.
There's been mixed emotions to say so in that whole region. There were many of the referring centers that wanted to proceed with Brainomix, but there were some others that had stronger voices deciding for the whole region not to proceed. So I don't know the politics behind it, but the decision was made at least. So they're on board until the end of September, as far as we know.
Okay, well, we'll sort it out in August, I'm sure.
Yeah. But as far as I understand it, you want me to connect North Cumbria to your cells in the cloud till the end of. Yeah, I will do that right after the call then. That's no problem.
Yeah, thank you. Right. Babitundi?
Yes, thank you. I'm from North Cumbria actually. So I just need to ask some questions.
Sure.
Or before then, it's actually true we're moving to Rapid AI by September or so, I think. Because I'm working with the telestroke now. Post September, will I still be able to access Brainomix, even if we especially looking at scans from other hospitals?
You are still to access all the process results in Brainomix for those hospitals that are belonging to the Lancs South Cumbria region if you are set up as a user in that organization. Yes, but you will not see anything from Brainomix anymore related to North Cumbria.
Okay, so I can still see scans from maybe Blackburn or Blackpool.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're on call in North Cumbria, but you're covering stroke services for Lancashire South Cumbria, then you still have the mobile app. If you are set up as a user then in Lancashire South Cumbria, then you can see still all the cases from Blackburn, whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Edwin, thank you so much for your time and explanations. And what we're going to do, we're recording this, so we're going to put this onto the Futures webpage for people to access and also onto the front of our website. So I will put those in an email to you as well.
Yeah, when more information comes, Elaine, like the training short, it's a training video, there will be an updated quick reference guide related to how to navigate through the mobile app. So hopefully that's also done by the end of this week. And then I think my colleague Senna will come visiting you rather soon again, because there are some discussions about a new, what do you call it? What is it? An statistical tool, Vantage, where you can see everything related to amount of scans processed for CTA, CTP, etc., etc. But she will reach out to you to make an appointment related to this as well, and maybe follow up from a training perspective as well if there are any questions raised in the meantime. So yeah.
Do you know Michelle's question from the chat? She says, "Thank you. I just need to find my organisation code now."
That is typically something related. You know, the organization code is LSC stroke, and that is for all users. So that is something that is nothing strange. It may be that you forgot your password related to your username, and that's something again that you need to go to your own IT department to get this either told to you or needs to be reset, because it's something that we don't know. But the organization code is all capital letters LSC stroke.
Thank you. Thanks, Edwin.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. And
thanks for your attention, and yeah, look forward to getting feedback from you guys when you start working with the software as well. It's always good to get feedback, positive, negative. And if it's positive, it would be nice to get feedback. Oh, we're missing this, we're missing that. We would like to have this as well. So let us know. We're here to listen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks everyone for your time, and I'll have to set up another meeting around the registering process, which Matt said he'll get back to me as soon as he's finished with this emergency, so we'll sort something out pretty quickly. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
take care. Enjoy the heat.
Everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you both. Right. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.